Hi, this is Michelle. This presentation outlines Team 4's analysis of an educational institution, namely the College of North Atlantic Qatar, commonly referred to as CNAQ. The analysis will begin with an overview of the history of the college and where it is headed in terms of providing an education that supports the use of technology, meeting the demands of 21st century learners, and providing them with the essential services and the assistance required to advance in their chosen field of study. During our analysis, we question whether the students and faculty have the support they need and whether outcomes are being met and if any improvements can be made in terms of student support. The College of North Atlantic Qatar is a public post-secondary technical institution founded in 2002 through a joint venture between CNA Newfoundland Canada and Qatar in the Middle East. Its educational landscape is founded in support of the Qatar national vision and intends to graduate highly skilled individuals that will make a valuable contribution to the workforce in the state of Qatar. CNAQ's organizational model stems from a strategic plan for the state's educational system and originates from key strategic directives or guiding principles developed as a result of stakeholder appreciative inquiry, as you see in the video here. The appreciative inquiry sessions have been well attended and received by various stakeholder groups. Attendees include prospective students, full-time, part-time, contract training students, graduates, key industry partners, faculty, CNAQ support staff, community members, management, and other organizational representatives. The experiences and ideas that were shared were overwhelmingly positive and formed the entire basis for the strategic plan components for 2012 to 2016. Outcomes from the appreciative inquiry session translates into the model that you see in front of you and summarizes the intent and commitment of CNAQ to enhance the learning experience and deliver a high-quality, student-centered approach to education, that being learner-first, educational innovation, exceptional collaboration, communication, organizational excellence, and pride. The vision is a powerful one and aims to ensure the success and readiness of each learner, providing them with world-class facilities and technologically advanced tools, while keeping current with developments in the workforce through partners with industry. It is evident from the model that CNAQ recognizes that technology is a key trend in imparting learning in a faster, simpler, and more effective way, and therefore supports a blended learning model in which courses and student services are delivered through a combination of online and face-to-face. To meet training needs using 21st century technology, CNAQ uses a learning management system called Desire to Learn to improve accessibility and bridge the gap between the student and teacher contact outside of the classroom. Additional resources and access to student services are available through the college website as well as on campus. The use of tech tools and a learning management system provides immense potential to build a meaningful community that encourages interactivity, providing opportunities to share information and make available a multitude of resources, while working towards enhancing student-to-student, student-to-content, and student-to-teacher interactions. As the college is based in Qatar, students are largely second language learners with an average age of about 25. Although these students largely come from a Muslim background, their socio-economic and cultural backgrounds vary widely. The multicultural learning dynamic extends to include individuals from Africa, Asia, North America, and the Middle East. Students at CNA Qatar are immersed in a digital age of learning and are for the most part tech-savvy, embracing a learning environment characteristic of today's 21st century educational landscape that invites a technology-driven, globalized educational approach. Countries such as Qatar are recognizing the importance of integrating educational theories such as constructivist pedagogies to meet the demands of globalization. With the application of constructivism, the learner is at the center of the learning, which has been identified as a goal in the CNAQ strategic plan. Teaching addresses the pedagogical shift in practices to meet the 21st century learner-centered vision for education. This has required a modified curriculum and the instructional support to bring about the skills required to prepare learners for success. The CNAQ Presidential Report exemplifies the need for learning to be an active and social process. This closely matches constructivism and social constructivism, which theorists describe as active learning that takes place through social interaction, with the provision of cognitive tools and instructional expertise to support and scaffold learning. The expectation is that students will work in collaboration with others while taking ownership of their own learning processes. However, despite the shift towards constructive learning, behaviorist and cognitive theories are still used in the design of instructional materials for development of factual and procedural knowledge during different stages of the educational journey. Since the adoption of the blended model, which has transformed the educational delivery at CNAQ, this has as a result required additional support structures and student support services that need to be integrated for student success. Current service centers are comprised of various components, teams of professionals and subsystems that balance and regulate operational aspects to support the needs of the organization. As services provided are contextually bound by the organization, there needs to be some evidence that when all factors or services are considered, the support provided is effective in meeting the vision and mission of the organization and improves and enhances learner performance and satisfaction. The keys to success and the service support model will therefore be further discussed and elaborated on for its relevance and effectiveness in improving student satisfaction and providing a meaningful and rewarding experience to ensure learner success. Organizational gaps in relation to student support and potential areas for improvement will be considered and suggestions made where needed. So I'll now hand you over to our next speaker. Thank you.
CNA Qatar actively takes the pulse of its growing community with a robust survey system that solicits the opinions of students, advisory committees, alumni, and employers to ensure that its connections with the community that it serves are supported by the educational programs. While the sample size is somewhat small, Floyd and Fowler 2009 allow for sometimes just getting a general sense of people's concerns and opinions rather than having numerical precision. However, with the diversity of the student body at CNA Qatar, a larger sample size would be beneficial. Students are asked to comment on and rate the instruction of the courses that they take, the use of technology at CNA Qatar, the quality of the courses and their general satisfaction with them, and also a fairly detailed look at the support services offered, including counseling services, library services, the Learning Commons, which offers a multi-purpose common area for educational and extracurricular activities, the registration and administrative support that they get while there, and the facilities as well, the physical facilities, but also the activities and clubs that are available to students. Advisory committees provide an important link between the school and the greater community and corporations, and so advisory committees are asked to comment on which organizations they represent, how they contribute to the programs and courses at CNA Qatar. They advise on training and content, the use of technology and emerging technologies in the fields of study, and they are asked to comment on how they promote the goals of the school and how they increase and generate positive public awareness of CNA Qatar. Employers of graduates are asked to comment on their satisfaction with the quality of the knowledge and skills of graduates, and also then to actively identify gaps in the skills and knowledge being demonstrated by these graduates in order to improve the programs and to make sure that they are current. They're also asked to comment on trend awareness in their fields. In other words, if certain technologies are starting to emerge or methods or best practices, that these employers help the school to identify these to better prepare students in the workforce. In keeping with the organizational goal of putting the learner first, alumni are also contacted. Their information regarding their demographics, their geographics, and so forth is collected. They're asked to comment on their relationship with companies out in the workforce, which jobs they have taken, how the school supported their entry into these jobs, and how the ongoing connection with the CNAQ community is going. They also, interestingly, talk about affective issues, asking for their attitudes towards CNAQ and its programs, and general public impressions of the programs at CNA Qatar. The data collected by CNA Qatar clearly supports the learner. Detailed questions asked of current and past students allows it to make sure that it continues to meet the needs of these students primarily. The data collected is clearly in support of organizational outcomes, looking for connections with the community and with corporations to ensure educational and technical innovation and currency. Their collaboration with corporations, the advisory committees, etc., ensures that they retain their organizational excellence and promote CNAQ pride. The data available at this writing shows some shortcomings in the area of retention initiatives and retention data and efficiency analysis as well. Moving forward, CNA Qatar can benefit from data collection in regards to their online learning efforts, as well as leveraging the technology to increase their response rate on these surveys. Problems associated with missing data are not limited to low statistical power, but also biased results and limited validity. I'm going to hand you over to Glen now.
Thanks, John. Hi everyone, this is Glen here, and what I'll be presenting is what we found that CNAQ has in store or has in order for the students as far as academic support in a technology media environment. And how we like to generally define academic support is that it's any service or information that is provided to a student to support their academic activities. And according to Simpson in 2012, this can include the cognitive, intellectual, or subject-specific knowledge. The main areas that this could include is tutoring, scaffolding, and collaborative learning, which is what we are seeing here in this first, or the home box here. So here's what we found that relates to these areas at CNAQ. Keep in mind that CNAQ offers only face-to-face classes with a blended approach. So we've included support that has more of an online component, and I'll try and link those through the use of this mind map here. And as most services are designed for face-to-face, and in looking at this and in analyzing this, we've actually found that they do have quite a bit of online connections. So if we look over here, and what we've mapped out here is all the different services that they have found that they have. So up here is the Math Help Center, and generally this links back to academic support through providing tutoring in the sense that it does provide links to resources for the students and general information. The Career Counseling Center allows a little bit of collaboration and also tutoring through job search engines and networking opportunities for both students that are in school right now and also alumni as well. So it gets a chance to link up those two groups of students. The Independent Learning Center has an online forum. It has chats and things like frequently asked questions, and it does allow for some student-to-student support in an online environment. So it really bodes well with some academic support. Next is Desire to Learn, and that is the learning management system that CNAQ uses, and they've been doing this for a couple of years now. And what we've done to look at this is divide this up into the sort of the help section, which includes online tutorials, provides contacts. There's also live chat, and also the IT department does conduct surveys to help sort of further this area of support. There's also more of the academic side, and this is interesting because it really does provide or link back to academic support in all of these areas here. And it does that through access to course materials that are available on a 24-hour basis. Interesting things is there's a mandatory first module. Again, as students come into CNAQ, they found that students didn't have a lot of support or previous use, so they've made a lot of online modules so that students can get used to it. And what I've done over here is sort of attach some of the readings from the unit and place them where we kind of found that it sort of fits the best. So it's a way of joining the real live model of CNAQ to some of the research that we've looked at. Over on the other side here, we've got the IT Help Desk, and this is fairly straightforward. They offer tutorials and contacts. Library services, again, are split into two things. One is they have bookings for online, sorry, not online, but they allow for bookings so that support can occur through use of study rooms. There's an interesting one here that they have an online request if students find that some of the resources are not what they need, they're looking for something specific, they could actually get the college to go ahead and purchase those. On the other side of the library services, we've got search engine, online resources, and guides and databases for the students, much like many colleges and universities have. Next is peer tutoring, and unfortunately the only online sort of component to this would be the booking system. The Writing Center has online appointments, so students can go in, do bookings for appointments, which is fairly small, but it does offer some support there, or access to support. And online they offer writing resources for things like APA presentations, letter writing, resume writing, things like that. Lastly is the IELTS Center, and this is the English Testing Center. Because CNAQ has a lot of second language students, or English as a second language, they have to have a certain level of IELTS before getting the certain programs. And the online support that they have there for the students is exam info, and they also do offer links to practice tests, questions, and information about the exam. So this is the overall highlight of academic support at CNAQ, with an emphasis on what school has available in the online context. I also hope that it helps tie in some of the research from this unit, and it shows how it fits into the mold at CNAQ. And I'll turn it over to Gail.
Hi everyone, I'm Gail, and I will talk about CNAQ's non-academic support system. So according to research by DUR, they refer to student support services as a variety of non-academic interactions that the student has while at the college or university. We actually use the eCampus Alberta eToolkit to perform our analysis of our non-academic support services. As you can see here, we compile the services under the department they are directly under. Like, for example, the registrar's office takes care of admissions and registration, as well as assessment, scholarships, and sponsorship. We don't have a financial aid service at the college per se. I'll discuss that later. The Department of Student Affairs is responsible for counseling services, orientation for new students, as well as recreation and international education and the Alumni Association. Our technology support relates to all the IT and D2L, our learning management system support for students and faculty. Glen has already talked about the library support system, so I won't go into details on that. And for our diverse learners, or accessibility for those, is actually quite minimal at this point within the college. So I think CNAQ certainly makes use of most of the non-academic support services recorded in the research done by Floyd and Casey Powell, Brito and Rouche and Durr. However, these services are generally available on campus at our college currently, as we don't offer fully online distance education programs as such right now. For admission into the college, the student starts at the registrar's office. where applications for admission are available either like online or in person. So the website does provide details on eligibility for CNAQ programs, the deadlines for application, and all the required documents needed. Like, for example, English, math, and science requirements and the grades they need to reach at the high school level. They can also periodically check their admission status online as well. So to help students with career counseling, there is an online tool called Tamheed, and that is available prior to admission as well. It basically is used to like assess one's natural abilities, personality traits, and career interests. So students can actually get their own personalized report, or they can also make an appointment to speak to a career counsel if they want to seek any further details. So since there's no financial aid, as I said, provided at the college, there are some scholarship awards students can receive while they're students at the college, and sponsorship is another option for financial support through a number of our stakeholders, like for example the main hospital there and a big oil company called Qatar Petroleum, and they provide excellent opportunities for our students. To help students achieve both their academic success and personal, Student Affairs offers career and personal counseling, as well as they can set up peer tutoring for academic help. Of course, currently these services are all offered face-to-face, which is great, but students can book an appointment online. The rec department offers a variety of fitness activities, sports teams, and they're big on health and wellness currently to help students achieve better, healthier lifestyles, which is nice. They also provide assistance for students wanting to continue like post-secondary education internationally, so they can get information on different universities abroad. And also there's an alumni association which allows our grads to keep in touch with college life, and they host a number of events throughout the year, which is great to network in. And lastly, just talk about our tech support. The IT and D2L support systems are great at communicating to staff and students with respect to like training sessions and network issues if there's downtime or upgrades. It's certainly easy to access the help desk during office hours, but outside that time, it is only available through email or SharePoint requests. Certainly, like a 24/7 chat option would be a nice feature to add, especially for students in their blended courses now that we offer, who spend a lot of time outside the campus during their work times. So I'll hand this over to Lynn, who will discuss our recommendations for improvements after our analysis.
Thanks, Gail. My team of consultants have analyzed the data and support systems in place at College of the North Atlantic, Qatar, also known as CNAQ. And even though CNAQ is a face-to-face organization, the college has accepted a blended model of education, so they need to adapt their support systems to the online needs of the students. Thompson and Shillington mentioned that as online learning is increasingly used as the vehicle for delivery of support services to the diverse populations, there's an urgent need to understand how different cultural influences affect the experiences of learners in the online environment. And this is certainly true of the diverse learners, as was described by Michelle earlier. We're going to start with the admissions. The admissions section at CNAQ has a simple online application process, but could do with some improvement. We suggest a centralized system where inquiries, requests, transactions, for example, can be followed up, and perhaps a real-time admissions rep could be used for questions and inquiries. Potter mentions that the initial steps with the application were rated as the most important to online learners. Therefore, this needs to be seamless. The Career and Counseling Center, as Gail mentioned, uses an online tool called Tamheed. However, we recommend further use of online links to career opportunities and pathways, as well as links to job search engines and tools. We commend CNAQ on attempting to access higher degrees, and there's been issues with this, but for most students and alumni when searching jobs, they seem to have issues with this, so we need to continue striving for this. In terms of help centers, CNAQ has several help centers, like the Advanced Writing Center, the Math Help Center, the Independent Learning Center, and they focus on different needs. And they have links and online booking systems, but we do recommend that perhaps appointments and initial communication could be made online, as well as provide a more comprehensive list of useful links. And maybe an FAQ could be used, and perhaps online tutorials and a live chat option. The library has excellent online services, but we do suggest improvement of access for alumni to provide lifelong learning. The peer tutoring services sees the potential gaps to follow up with academic performances of the actual peer tutors. These are face-to-face tutors. And there may be cultural implications with face-to-face peer tutors like male and female issues. And this is why online peer tutoring can be of benefit to CNAQ students. However, Price, Jefferson, and Jelfs analyzed 3 studies of online tutoring, and they actually found that the online group did not interact as well with their tutors as compared to the face-to-face group, but that online tutoring at the Open University in the UK was well received. Therefore, online tutoring can be recommended to CNAQ, but with caution of its use, and continuous follow-up of its effectiveness. Maybe also an online sign-up to the services would be of benefit. Counseling and advising is done in an efficient manner in the face-to-face environment at CNAQ, but it could be enhanced for the online component. Online booking and email are available, but we recommend systems like Brito and Rush described, such as one in their college, which offers case management advising for first-time college online users, which addresses academic and non-academic issues. The Community College Research Center also addresses how colleges can personalize the advising support system by using, let's say, an online system that tracks students' academic progress and alerts advisors when students reach key points in their college trajectory. Now, for the IT and tech help desk, this is well established for on-campus. However, some systems could be improved to adapt the blended model. We suggest more online support and options like live chat, and Brito and Rush have explained that this greatly benefits students taking online courses. The LMS help desk, which for us is D2L, as mentioned by Glenn, this has online tutorials on their homepage. It has email, phone line on campus within office hours, but we recommend more tutorials embedded within each course and online support, such as chat options for students on off-office hours. Also, maybe a mandatory module for first-time users would be of benefit. We also suggest regular surveys to determine effectiveness in possible areas for improvement, because CNAQ only launched D2L about 2 years ago and it's not mandatory yet. In conclusion, we suggest that CNAQ incorporate better use of quality assessments related to their student support systems to measure their effectiveness with student success. Innes described a model called the Service Excellence Framework, which is seen below, and provides a business management framework. Includes best practices findings from a range of successful organizations throughout the world. And it has service profile, improvement process, key practices and people, intermediate outcomes, and final outcomes. Perhaps this model could be of good use to CNAQ to aid in the effectiveness of student support systems to direct students to a successful path while studying. Thank you for listening.